So when the milk runs out, gimmicks work for a while. And the reason they use gimmicks is to build congregation. They're crowd conscious. And I wondered why Jesus lowered the numbers when he said, for where 2 or 3. I thought he would say, well, 5 or 6. But he knew he had to lower the numbers because everybody who fills a pew don't know Jesus. You can have a church full and have no more than 2 or 3 who actually know the Lord. I tell you, a good way you can tell they don't know him, raise an offering. I was talking to the bishop. I say, man, we can cut up when they're singing, cut up when the preacher tune right. When they start talking about offering, you can't hear nothing. If you're going to cool the church off, raise an offering. You have to be a witness to the suffering. What happens, seasoned pastor, and everybody needs a pastor. Everybody needs a pastor. Man, if you go home and you ain't got nobody to talk to, that's why so many preachers are experiencing depression. Some are committing suicide. Some are having strokes and heart attacks. And I decided, and it ain't gonna come out of somebody else's church, it's gonna come out of yours. And I decided nobody at my church is gonna write a heart attack on me. I'm gonna write my own. Simply because you got to let go. And you can't allow them to come to you with the past pastor's problem. If he couldn't solve them, you ain't either. That's right. You're going to have your own problem. You'll make enough of them. That's for real. Let me get through. Here's what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to care for the flock. And you sure enough got to be born again to love some folks. You know, Bishop taught me something. He talked about people who are negative, that that's normal for them. I tell you, can I add another? Folks who are low down. And you can find some awfully low down folk in church. You talking about the street got the church, got the world messed up. It's the church got the world messed up. People who wear the name and don't live it. People who are church wreckers. Moving from one church, they'll tear this one up and then move on over to Reverend Hawkins and tear his up and move on over to Reverend Harris and tear their church records. I had a lady join our church once, and she said, I said, why did you leave the church? I left because that man wasn't no good. I said, well, you're going to leave here in about 5 days. I'm going to try to wrap it up. You got to have a message and get people off the ball and stop giving them what them little things they got nothing in it. And we done pacified black folk too long. You need to get them in Bible study. You need to get them in Sunday school. And you need to get them in prayer meeting. If prayer meeting got your pastor, all of y'all ought to be in prayer meeting. Prayer is the key. What would you do? Because that's sometimes folk don't even want to talk to you. What would you do if God says, I don't want to hear you? How can you live if God resigned from you and say, y'all take it, I'm not going to have anything else to do with it. But he's not like that. You know, I'm glad some of folks ain't God. Because I would have been put out of Zion Gate. But thank God, he will make your enemies behave. And he will make your enemy your footstool. And I can step up. Paul on these occasions. Paul told Timothy, he said, listen, he says, I'm going to give you that big church in Ephesus, First Baptist Ephesus. And he said, but now don't you go up there without having studied. I don't want no dumb pastor. You have to study. But you go up there and set things in order. And that's what pastor's first job is, to set things in order. Give it some order, because you're not going to do anything if there is no order. And he says you got to don't try to take control of the church.
That's right. Take
control of the pulpit. If you can't control the pulpit, you'll never control. This is where power comes. From the pulpit. And so just preach, man, preach. If I went to the church for the first time, it's been so long I don't know when I went, but if I went for the first time, I'd preach for the whole year. I wouldn't try to do nothing else. Because you have so many sinners who come to church on Sunday morning. So you have revival every Sunday. And that's what I would do. But that's me. You're assigned to do two things: preach and teach. And here's why I hear some guys say, well, I'm just called to teach. Well, you ain't much, because God called you, got to do both of them. It's not a split assignment. Because you preach, you teach, and you're preaching. But listen, here's why you have to preach. You preach first, because you can't teach sinners. What you say. And when you find people acting up, they can't be saved. So there's something about the power of the word. Now, it doesn't mean we won't mess up. But I mess up all the time. I'm a messer upper. But when I mess up, I know how to come back home. I know how. And I'm not going to be so arrogant that I'm going to try to justify my messing up. And you're going to have folks wondering, that boy messed up. And I walked to that pulpit at Zion Gate with all kind of power, because they didn't know I'd been on my knees. I'm going to tell you why y'all need knee replacement. You ain't been them enough. I dare you to bend your knees. When trouble comes, we're talking about it, somebody doesn't take all of that. I'll tell you what, let your children start acting up. Get a call from the jailhouse. You ain't gonna have that little cupid, oh Lord, thy majesty. No! You got to come and see about me now. God can fix it where you will call him. Got to get some folks saved. Now, they're looking for Trump. Y'all worried about Trump? They ain't worried about Trump. Trump president of the United States. But I got a king. And they ain't worried about the king. They worried about Trump. But they got to understand, Trump wouldn't wake them up if he could. He'll tell a lie that they was already. You better get yourself back in church. And you better get yourself back into God. Because that's going to solve the problem. The world will never defeat the church. And if you want a safe place to hide, go to church. And you got to teach me out. Just sit at the church. No, in the church. I'm going to change that. For 2 minutes, I'm at the church. And I was saying that it's going to be the church that's going to straighten the world out. The church still got to be the conscience of government. You got to be able to tell government when they're wrong. They may not change, but you got to tell them. And it don't take a whole lot. Folks, everybody is out the closet but the church. Everybody. Listen, and that's not new. You remember when Jesus died and those boys went to walking and they told them to meet him in the upper room. Guess what they did? Went up there and locked the door. And Jesus had to come in without coming through a door or window. But thank God he doesn't have to open a window. Listen, his presence is in here today. Been in here all day. You can't run him out. He is in here today. The only people who don't feel him are the folk who don't got him. I broke that verb. I'm an English major. You got a guide sheep. You got to walk along beside them. And a shepherd has a rod. And of course he demonstrates it by how God handles us as a shepherd. You remember the rod and the staff? Got a crook. I can't stand holy folks. Holy folks. Ain't never done nothing wrong. And they judge other folks. But listen, don't get upset. They know more about it because they done it. And if you do something, they are experts. But you pull them back gently. And if that sheep has been wounded, put it on his shoulder and carry it back to the fold. You got to love folk. I don't see where I have a lot of young guys come to me, man, them low down folks I got. Well, how did you know? Did you have that trait in you? I don't care how low down they are. Because when Jesus saved us, we were low down. You got to guide the sheep. You got to control the situation in the pasture. You got to keep bitter weeds out the pasture. And bitter weeds ain't always deacons and trustees. Bitter weeds are some preachers. Well, get in your pastor. I had a guy came by one Sunday morning and he said, Reverend, the Lord sent me by here with a message. I said, you go right back and tell the Lord I ain't going to hear it. I said, because he called me here and told me. And I said, Lord, the Lord acts with respect. And so you go back and tell me, you ain't telling nothing up in here. You can just leave because I ain't going to even recognize your presence. Right. You got to control who you bring in here. That's right. If the diet ain't right, I don't feed Zion Gate folk with potato chips. Junk food. Junk food will mess you up. You need some good food that will grow you and mature you so you can stand strong. Don't lead them by constraint, but do it willingly, not for filthy lucre. They're talking about money, and that's the first thing I was saying to some pastors when they were candidating. I said there are two trick questions. One is money, and one is women preachers. And we got to learn to answer like Jesus answered. You don't know what they think. They're trying to find a way to cut you out. Yes, sir. When they ask you, Reverend, how much it takes for you to come here? Say, what are y'all doing? What are you paying? You take whatever y'all pay. I can work on the other when I get in. And women preachers, you may have one in the church, and you come out, I don't go with them. You think you're going to get elected? Let's get real. There are trick questions to cut you out. Now, I'm not trying to give you a position on either one. What I am saying, watch the trick question. They need to eliminate you, and they need something. So what you tell them, what do y'all take on? All right. You're not going to be so smart. You're going to cut me out. Listen. He said, don't be concerned about money, because most churches rather starve the pastor than to pay the pastor. My Lord. Don't buy too many cars, because they're going to say Shiloh paid for them. And they ain't going to say they gave it to you, they're going to say you stole it. Everybody else can buy what they want to have. Right. They don't have to steal it. As soon as the preacher lets his family live a little bit above poverty. And you don't want no pastor that he can't get here because he done had 2 flats. And ain't a solid place on the car, been hit all the way around. Remember, he's a gift.
Yes, sir.
And you protect
yes, sir.
your gifts. Must be an example to the flock. Now, I'm near the end. Younger man, he said, accept the authority of the elders. For me to have been pastoring the same folks, I'm pastoring my 5th generation for 54 years, and preaching 59 or 60. I think I learned something.
All right.
I think I know where the ditches are. And I think I know where the one you can jump across and the one you can jump in. You know how I know? I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. You can't be an authority if you have not experienced it. And then you got to humble yourself before the mighty hand of God. I'm getting ready to close.
Yes, sir.
Got to humble yourself because the devil is roaming, seeing who he can mess up. And I think that Peter said, folk all across the world are going through the same thing that y'all are going through. And what he wants to convince you of is that nobody is suffering but y'all. But every church on the coast is going through some storm and some difficulty. We might as well join ourselves and humble ourselves before the mighty hand of God. And I tell you why we got to do it. To follow the example of Jesus. When he humbled himself to an old rugged cross. A symbol of suffering and shame. And the author said, I love that old cross. Somebody ought to know about the cross of Jesus. Can you remember when he died on a hill called Calvary? He didn't fight. He said, here my hand, you can nail my hand. Here my feet, you can rivet my feet. Just nail me to the cross, but don't lift me up. If you lift me up, I will draw men unto me. And they made that mistake. He laid him on the ground and nailed his hand and riveted his feet. And when they lifted it up, heaven and earth came together in heavenly splendor. And somebody said that God had forsaken him, but God was working behind the scene. He shook the world until the world got drunker. He forgot to tell the sun to shine that morning. The sun refused to shine. The moon started hemorrhaging in blood. He was dying. Can I get a witness? How many of you know he died? Tell your neighbor he died. Yeah! I know he died. Ah, yeah! Not only did he die, but early. Do you know him? Can I get about 5 in here? Say, I know him. The reason why I know him, he woke me up this morning, started me on my way. Oh, yes, he did. He walks with me. He talks with me. He holds my hand. Ain't he all right? Ain't he all right? If you know he's all right, let me say, yeah. Yeah. The door stands ajar. You can make it, Reverend. You can make it. Because he's been walking with me for 54 years at the same church. He's taking care of my family. And there were times when they tried to squeeze me out. Had the folks stop paying the money. But I knew something they didn't know. That the Lord will make a way somehow. Has he ever made a way for y'all? And I'll tell you where you get it. At the cross, my soul done got happy. I say at the cross. Yeah. At the cross. Tell your neighbor it was at the cross where I first saw the light. The burden of my heart will roll away. Yeah! Hey! Yeah! You know what you tell him? You know what you tell him? You keep from getting high-minded. You really want to know? Jesus, keep me near the cross. There, the precious. Anybody know about the cross? Fountain, free, healing stream. It just flows from Calvary's. How many of you know it's in the cross? Will you help me a little bit? In the cross. In the cross be my glory. Ever till my just shall find one of the needs of no rest. Be the river. You know, in the meantime, in the cross, I watch and wait, hope and trust. Stay there. Ever, how long? Till I reach that goal. That's right. Just beyond the. One more time, if you know about the cross. In the cross. In the door of the church stands ajar. My glory. The door stands ajar. Ever.